course, this is Dulor Factor Live with me, Delia Dulor, and I'm here in the studio with Chef Robbie and Candy Nicholas Bowen. I left you with a question before the break. Did you answer it? Who won? Mom, Dad, the children? Okay, answer the question. Which meal should you skip or could you skip? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of them, none of them? Candy, answer.
Dinner.
Of course it's dinner. Why? Why would it be dinner?
Because you need to use up the energy that you've taken in. Because remember, being obese, apart from eating the right foods, is what you put in as opposed to what energy you expel. So if you eat a huge meal just before you go to bed.
Yeah, and it's proven, because I remember when I was on the diet, the HCG diet, which is available at Innovis. You weigh yourself every day, and if I ate too late, I wouldn't lose as much weight.
Right.
You know, if I would try to eat like before 7 o'clock, and if I ate before 7 o'clock, the next day I would lose more weight than if I ate later on. Well, so it's proven. And also another thing I wanted to well, I'm telling you, it happened. Okay, so you can differ all you like. It happened. It was true. And the other thing I wanted to impart is regarding sugar. When people talk about taste, you know, earlier on in the show we spoke about getting used to certain tastes, and sometimes it's like horrible, and so you don't want to introduce your children to it. But even something like sugar, which children will say, oh, I love sugar, I can't have my tea without sugar. Well, when I went on the HCG, I had to not have sugar in anything. And in the morning, I could have a cup of coffee without sugar. I always had black coffee with sugar. And now, if you give me coffee and you put sugar in it, I cannot. I hate it. I don't like it.
Because you've untrained you've retrained your taste buds.
And it was easy.
So yeah,
I thought it would be really difficult, you know, and that helps you to keep the weight off and you feel better. So if you start doing things the right way, the body adjusts very, very quickly. I'm going to open the phone lines now, so if anyone has any questions or any statements, or they want to say, no, I disagree with anything that a guest have said, or say, yes, okay, I'm with you, you know the number to call, 451-9788. We actually have some questions come in. How do you balance a child's diet who only likes cereal and starchy foods like rice, mac and cheese, drinks plenty of water and juice? That's the question. Who would like to take that? Candy, Robbie?
Yeah, well, you have to make some sort of effort to change it. I mean, first of all, you have to educate the child. It depends on how old the child is, first of all, whether the child is, you know, an age of where they can comprehend. And, you know, let them know the benefits of it and the ramifications of not eating, spinach and the healthy things that they should eat, or find a way of eating it, or compromise. If you're going to get your mac and cheese, but, you know, you have to eat your mixed vegetables first, so, you know. It's tough love, but, you know, it's for their own benefit eventually. You know, my son, for example, used to have a hard time, you know, understanding why I was so difficult, you know, hard on him when I taught him, you know, English, gave him lessons, and I was less hard on other kids because I expected more of him or whatever. But, you know, it was tough love. I was, you know, hitting him hard, you know, making sure that he ate the right things and drank the right things. And he would go to a party and they'd offer him a soft drink and he'd say, my dad doesn't allow me to have that. That's how well drilled I had him.
Can I just apologize? We did have some calls, but obviously Robbie was explaining and the calls have dropped. And what I'm going to do, actually, we'll just talk very briefly and I'll go for a break. So don't call right now, because I want to actually go through a couple of the questions, and we'll just go for a break in a couple of minutes, okay? All right then. Candy. Hi, Candy just had a baby. Can she eat like before?
I'm not sure if she's a baby anymore. She's telling me very adult things these days, so it's hard to think of her as a baby. But, you know, eating healthy, for me, I don't think about it as a diet. It's just the way that I eat. So I never put on weight when I was pregnant. It was just me at this size with a bump, and I had the baby and the bump was gone.
Well, you're one of the lucky few.
It has nothing to do with luck, Delia.
No, you're lucky.
I'm lucky that I knew how to eat properly so as not to put on weight. So if you want to look at it.
Well, you see, you had the power of knowledge.
The power of knowledge, yes, yes.
And then, you know, I breastfed. That helps your body to burn up calories. So whatever little quote-unquote baby weight that I put on was easily shed because I breastfed. And that's another thing, breastfeeding is so important, Robbie, when you go to the schools and you're speaking to the mothers if they have children, because, you know, children who are breastfed, studies are showing that their IQ level is much higher.
There you go.
than children who are not breastfed.
That's another angle. That, you know, not eating healthy. You know, all the problems where, you know, young girls are having problems with pregnancies. You know, miscarriages, or, you know, babies with complications. All that goes all the way back to unhealthy eating.
Exactly.
If you're going to be feeding yourself on naturals, oh, that's all I can eat. I can't eat nothing else. I must have a pizza. I must have a burger. That's all I don't want no lettuce on it. I don't want that. I just want starch and protein, or that sort of thing. And then, you know, you go and have a baby, and then, you know, your body is not, you know, fit and strong and sturdy enough to handle it. Then your baby has complications. Now you're spending money on an unhealthy baby. You know, it's just, I use my kitchen analogy, you know, all the time. I explain to my waitress, as soon as you make a mistake, it creates a problem. If there are tons of people out there, you make one mistake, the chef has to go and fix it. At that time, he has to give up the time that he was spending on preparing a meal for somebody else, who now has to wait a longer period, and it just creates a domino effect. So then now 4, 5, 6, 7 tables start having a bad experience, and then it all becomes a whole mess. Nobody, you know, the day becomes a mess. You know, you get tons of tables who walked out. So the same thing applies to the body. If you don't take care of it, keep it in alignment, and keep it at check, like Candy is probably doing, you know, because of the power of knowledge, you know, then it's going to get all out of whack.
Okay.
You know, obviously.
Understood. Before, we're going to go straight to a break now, and I'm going to leave you with a question again so that you can discuss it. Children, I bet you're going to win this one. Okay. How big is your heart? Is it the size of a baseball? Is it slightly larger than your fist? Is it the size of a large grapefruit? Or is it the size of an egg? Okay. How big is your heart? The size of a baseball? Slightly larger than your fist? The size of a large grapefruit? Or the size of an egg? We'll be right back on the Dill Factor Live. Stay tuned.